Hello, this is Lisa Hybor, and I'm going to be presenting on technological change in education, the advantages, disadvantages, as well as the implementation process and things to avoid, as well as other topics pertaining to this. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Starting out, let's talk about what technological change could look like. This is pertaining to one-on-one devices, which means one child per every device. The different types of technology that could be used, but definitely not limited to, are netbooks, iPads, and computers. My recommendation is looking at the grade level in which we'll be using that technology and deciding from there which will be most beneficial at each grade level, because as we all know, kids at different grade levels need different things to help them be successful. I've seen a lot of advantages to technology in the classroom, especially one-to-one devices. One of these being engagement. Students are constantly engaged by what they are learning on the iPads or other technology available because it's at their level. There's a lot of collaboration between the teacher and the students, as well as students as a whole through wikis and forum posts. Students tend to be very productive during this time or time leading up to using the technology because it's a privilege and something they look forward to. It also allows for creativity for the students. Differentiation as a teacher, it allows for a lot of great differentiation to occur. Kids can be working on similar skills, however, they can be on different apps ranging from easy to hard depending on what they need at their exact level. It also allows for students to define their own learning goals. It's important that as teachers we make students take ownership for their learning, therefore they are going to want to progress more and reach higher and more substantial learning goals. Students also can manage their own personal learning through using devices because, once again, instruction and everything through technology can be more individualized per student and their needs. However, just like anything that has advantages, there are also disadvantages as well. One of the major disadvantages is technology anxiety. This is prevalent in not only students but teachers as well. Teachers who have been teaching for a long time might be hesitant to use devices because they don't know how and it's changing what they're used to. Technology can also be a huge distraction for kids, especially as they get into the social media realm. There are also lots of unpredictable problems and troubleshooting things that might come about with technology, and sometimes it causes teachers to have to think on their feet when technology arises and dealing with it, as well as the safety. Safety is a huge concern that we have for students today. As we all know, web searches can turn up all sorts of different things, and we want to ensure that students are safe at school and it's an environment in which parents feel that their child is learning and not being distracted, or their safety is being prohibited, or they're being endangered at all. The implementation process is something that educators and people implementing technology in school districts truly need to consider before. The first important thing, obviously, is to get the devices into the school district through purchasing and funding and grants. Um, Teachers and school districts have access to many different technological devices. The next important thing is to set them up. Third, it's important to download security systems or device management systems such as AirWatch. This allows for the safety, like I had talked about previously, to be up, and so that we can reassure parents that we are watching what their children are doing and that they are safe. Next, we would need to deliver the devices to the staff while also providing them with mandatory staff training to explore the devices as well as teach them how to effectively use them in the classroom. One of the great things that I think is important to do is demonstrating an old lesson in a new way. So taking a lesson that a teacher previously taught and now taking it using technology and showing the advances that can be made. It's also going to be important to give teachers a time for exploration so that they can truly dive into the device and come up with questions as they arise. Rolling out to students will be a lengthy process, and it's important that waivers are signed and parents are aware that these devices are being used in the classroom. It's also going to be important that all hands are on deck for this because it's going to take a team, or a village in this case, to truly make sure that the implementation process goes well and that parents feel comfortable with their children being on technology at school. Some difficulties to be aware of when implementing and the process is going on is lack of teacher knowledge. Teachers who may have been teaching for a while, or even new teachers who are not technologically savvy, uh, will lack the knowledge to even do simple things that many people would deem easy, such as turning on the device. It's also important to realize that you have a range of abilities, and so when presenting this technology to teachers, not to bore the teachers who have experience, but to further their knowledge so that they can better assist and help students reach their full potential, as well as helping other teachers. Another difficulty in the process will be the rollout because it's very lengthy and you never know what could happen. The last difficulty that I had read about and learned is that old habits. Many teachers will have reluctance to doing technology because it's new and it's not something that they've done before. Therefore, there's going to be hesitation, just like there is with anything that's new. We tend to be creatures of habit and like things to be safe, and if it's been working forever, why change it? Through my reading and research, some of the things that were brought up to avoid were rushing the process. This includes making sure that you give staff adequate resources, time, and exploration opportunities, as well as training to appropriately and effectively use the devices. Because if they're not comfortable using it independently, there's no way they're going to do it in front of a group of students. That goes along with the second point being lack of preparing educators. It's important that administration and community members are truly preparing teachers for doing what's best for the students and having them be comfortable with that technology. The last problem that I read about, or a thing to avoid, is going cheap. It's better to buy something that's going to last. It's durable and it's going to last for a long time because these are kids and kids drop things, and it's better to have something that's sustainable and will last a long time versus something that's cheap. It will last a lot longer throughout the years. Personally, I think there's a lot of value in having technology in the classroom. I've seen it firsthand as a kindergarten teacher. I've been able to differentiate instruction and truly meet students where they're at, as well as equipping them for the next level. I've also been able to scaffold instruction, so truly meet students where they're at and help them reach that higher level of thinking and cognitive process. It's also been engaging. Children today are so used to having screen time and being exposed to graphics and stimulating environments, and this is something that allows for that. Teachers can also personalize instruction, and so there's so many apps and tools available to reach each student and personalize it to something that students are interested in and will help them learn to their fullest potential. So not all of this I can take credit for. Here are the 4 references that I used to help collect all this data and help show the importance and process that it takes to fully implementing devices successfully. And the biggest thing to realize is that it's going to be a learning curve and it's going to look different at each school and in each district because of the community that it's involved in. So thank you so much for watching my presentation and have a great night.